Hey everyone, and welcome back. So it's been a while since I've done a video, but it has been absolutely hectic with obviously the transition with Broadcom and VMware. And look, I'm really positive about the whole thing. You know, licenses decrease, simplification of licensing and SKUs, but most importantly is in the last 100 or so days, I've seen more value added into the platform than I have in the last 3 years, right? And that's because of that laser focus of the products under a single business unit with a focus of a direction, which is making public cloud work like making private cloud work like public cloud and easy to consume, so you don't have to spend millions and millions and millions of dollars on PSO to get things to work or to get value out of it. Is that it just works out of the box. Now today I'll be covering DSM, but we've got a lot of integrations and I've got other videos coming with it. Obviously cloud consumption interface being another one, private AI foundation being another one there that's been added. So they're the three that have been added in like the last 100 days. Now the great thing about this is because it's been simplified and because there's a single direction from all the products, and because there's an assumption that everyone's got VCF because that's what's being sold, is that we're able to actually build things integrated into the existing products that work together a lot better, rather than, like, for example, the DSM or the private AI foundation or someone else is they'll traditionally create a new appliance with a new UI because you couldn't guarantee what a customer had or didn't have, and they didn't want to lock themselves to only customers that that needed to have vSphere, NSX, vSAN, Aria, and all the rest of it, right? Where now, because there is only one option, well actually there's multiple options, but there's one main option being that's the focus. So now they can start building those integrations and that's straight out of the box, which is really cool. So anyway, let's dive into it. And let's have a bit of a look at DSM. Now, this is just a first look, run through. I've already installed it. The installation directions, really simple. And again, it gets installed as a plugin in vSphere, right? And then that will install, essentially you upload an OVA, that's supplied OVA, you give it some details and away it goes. Then what you get is this. So we've got our data services manager that's on the vCenter level under configure, and we can see that we've got some infrastructure policies. We can see that we've got, and I should also point out that DSM is available via your kubectl by Kubernetes interface. It's available through the UI, and it's also available through Aria, which is very, very cool. And Aria 1 only came with 2.02. Look, it's a bit of a clunky integration, but obviously the direction is that it's going to be fully natively integrated. So let's have a look at this. So first off, we've got to set up our infrastructure policies. Now I've just got a basic policy here, which basically says this is where my compute resources go. This is my storage policies that I want to use. This is the network ports that I want to use. This is the IP pools that I want to use. And we've got my VM folders where I want them to go, as well as the VM classes. So this is basically your reservation pool, your cloud zone equivalent, where you're basically saying this is what I want the databases to use if they're deployed on this policy. We've obviously got our IP pools, which we have to configure. Now I've just got one IP pool here, and you can configure the ranges that are available there in the subnet. So I've created another network for this. Benefits of software-defined network, nice and easy. Then you got your VM classes. So what these VM classes are, now you can see I've just got the three. You can create these. They can be literally anything you want them to be, but I've just got your traditional small, medium, and large here. And that's what I think a small, medium, large is, but this is completely dependent on your organization or your own preference. And then once we've got those, we obviously can create the infrastructure policies. Now we've got LDAP settings, so this is where you can configure into LDAP. I haven't done that yet, so it integrates with the Active Directory. And then you can set permissions. So you can do DSM users. I've just got my own DSM user. This is a local, so you can create local users. You can give them any email address you want, really, and give them a password and they can log in. Obviously for an organization or an enterprise organization, you'd want to look at LDAP groups going forward. And then we've got our version and upgrade. So this is where you can set your maintenance policy. I haven't configured this yet. So this is a maintenance window where it'll actually automatically update in that maintenance window if you configure it for that, and you can see upgrade history, and you can see I went from 201 to 002, and it's actually quite plain simple, but yeah, it can upgrade, it'll check online, and it works completely offline as well, and we'll dive a bit more into that as well. All right, so let's cut over, and we can see we've got Access Data Services Manager over here. So I've already opened this, so this is the dashboard. So once it's deployed, this is available here, and we can see that I've got the database. You can see I've got 2 Postgres there, but over here we've got our system configurations. So when we go into here, we can configure our TanzuNet token. So if you've got a TanzuNet token, anyone can sign up for one, it's free. It'll connect and download automatically for you if you want. Now on the TanzuNet, there is also an offline bundle which you can unzip and you can automatically place into the repo storage settings, and we'll get to that, right? So you can see that it's registered with vCenter. We've got our storage, and we can see that we've got provider repo, log repo, backup repo, and it all needs to, at this point in time, be S3 compatible storage. Now that is changing, coming in future releases. There won't be a requirement on S3 storage to get up and running. I believe they're still doing backups to an S3 storage though, moving forward. But we can see I've got provider repo. Now I'm just using MinIO to do this. So if we actually have a look at the MinIO and we go back to this DSM repo here, let's refresh that. We can see we've got control plane, and this is where you would put if you had an offline bundle, you would then download the zip, you would unzip it, and you would place things where they need to be. So obviously you place them into the 2.2 one into there. You've got the control plane one which has a different one for 2.1, 2.2, and it actually for this one didn't have an update for the 2.02, right? So I'll just use the previous ones, and you can upload the file, the whole folder, and just say yep, accept, and then you've got your manifests, which again you got your 2.02 release. And I'm not going to download that, but then you've got your additional control plane JSONs as well, which sort of tell it what to do. So you can put all those files in there manually, it'll automatically pick up, and then you can upgrade, right? So it completely works offline, which is awesome, and you know, especially for those government or secure sensitive sites. All right, so let's go back to here. So once you set up your external repos, so you actually need to set up all these 3 for it to continue. You won't be able to download the databases or do other things without those in place. Set up your SMTP if you want to send emails. Your LDAP settings, I haven't got any of those. I haven't got log forwarding set up. VM settings, so this is the VM that's provided. You can update your password from here. And then you've got webhooks as well, so you can integrate with webhooks and start automating some stuff if you want to do that as well. You can set up everything that I showed you in the thing is that they show up here. So from vCenter, you can see there's infrastructure policies. You can do the version and upgrade here, looks identical. You can see the data services. One trick is when you do this, you have to come in here and enable these, right? They're not available by default. You need to enable the ones that you want to use. So otherwise, you won't be able to deploy anything. That had me stuck a little while there for. We've got our operations, so this sort of tells you what's been done over the time, any system logs, so we can create log bundles, obviously an audit about logins and all the rest of it. We can have a look at our external storage connectivity, so we can see it's all healthy and great, and then we're back to our settings here, right? So nice and simple. Now we can actually deploy databases from here, so you can see I can self-service databases, so based on the permissions that I give someone, they can log into this UI. We can select what we want to do, we can select the version that we want, we can give it an instance name, example, single server or single vSphere cluster, so multiple nodes. The topology, obviously if you change this, we can select different topology, so you can see we've got 5, so obviously 1 primary, 3 web pillars, 1 monitors, etc. Because this is in my lab and it's running out of resources, let's just do single server. So we've got 1 primary, that's all. We've got our username, you can select your username and your database name as well. So yeah, this actually follows Kubernetes So no spaces and no capitals as an example. All right, select next. We can select our infrastructure policy. We can select placement too if we want to, so which clusters. If you've got multiple, I don't. And plus the infrastructure policy has that, so you should use it. Your storage policy is fine. Your VM class, I'm just going to do small here. Disk size, you give it whatever you want. I've got 60 as default. We've got enable backups. Do you want it to back up? You can say backup location, obviously to that. Backup schedule, so you can use the default or you can create your own customized schedule for this whenever you want it backed up. I won't do backups for that. Maintenance window, so this is when you can upgrade the actual database version, like if a new upgrade comes out, to be able to upgrade that. And then we have the database options. So these are additional parameters that you can add in to customize your database. They're all within the doco. I'm not going to go through them now. And then we go next, we get a nice little summary and we can go create database, right? So you can see that's created in progress. Now let's have a look at this. This is one that I created earlier, and you can actually see there's the one that was created in Aria, right? So just give you an idea is that, you know, we can see that it's added the metadata, it's actually created in Aria, but we'll have a look at this one here. So from here we can see any labels that we attached. In the policies we can see the replication sets, obviously because it's a single node, it's not very complex, and we can see if there's an available upgrade for that and anything optional that we put in there. You can get the connection string from that, so cool, I can use that for my app, or you can get it programmatically if you want to as well. We've got some basic monitoring like active connections, CPU usage, memory usage, disk usage, write throughput, read throughput, you know, commits, rollbacks, etc. This also links into Aria operations. So using the True Visibility suite that's available to you is being able to connect into Postgres and get more valued metrics, right? And these integrations are going to come more and more integrated for you. Any of the backups, I haven't configured any of that. Any of the logs and operations. So that's all I've done. I haven't really done anything to it other than create it. And the same thing, if I go back to here, you can see this. It's the exact same data that's here. I haven't done anything other than create it, but you will notice that you can't actually delete or change owner from the Aria one, because that's all done and run through Aria, right? All right, so that's off creating, and we'll actually see it. It's loading in a Ubuntu machine, and it's going to create a VM and create and install Postgres and configure it all to the things, right? Great. So this is really getting into that RDS style of I need a database, you know, I need Postgres, I need MySQL, they're the two supported. I believe others are coming. There'll be like MinIO and S3 storage. There'll be the Google, I don't know if it's AlloDB, one of them. Like there's a bunch of different things that are coming down the pipeline for these particular services, but being able to request these either by command line, API, or through Aria is enabling that. I just want a database, right? I don't want to worry about the infrastructure. I don't want to install it. I don't want to, you know, I want to be able to manage it simply. Here you go, right? So it's very much that RDS type, that database as a service that's out of the box, and it's available with VCF. Right, bundled into that, which is awesome. So now if we have a look, we go back here, we go to our, we'll go to Service Broker as an example, and then we'll have a look at our catalog. So we can see this DSM DBaaS. So right at this point in time, and when I said before it's a little bit clunky, is that as part of the downloads, you actually download an Aria integration zip. Now that's a Python script, you put some config details in there, and all it does is create a custom resource, create a template, create a project, create the catalog item that we're looking at here, and a bunch of actions, right, that allow you to manage and maintain and operate the databases like a native object. So just using the constructs that have been in Aria for a very, very long time. Obviously moving forward will be more integrated out of the box, but for now, it's better than nothing and actually works pretty good. So we can see from the DBaaS, I looked up here, we can see the project that I'm here. I can pick a deployment name. So I'll go video demo 02. I want to pick my engine, so Postgres, what version I want, whether I want single or cluster, the primary, all the exact same things that we got to select before. Should we go medium for that one? Storage, enable backups, yep, sure, that'll do. Maintenance, yep, submit, right? So that'll actually go off and trigger that. So we should see, if we come back to databases, that if we refresh this, if it works, we should see that there's a new video demo 02 that comes into play. There it is. We can see that the VM class medium and it's being deployed through Aria. Now, one word of caution from my time in this, and this is where it sort of comes back to it being a little bit clunky at the moment, but kudos for the efforts to bring it in out of the box. Like, there's nothing effort, you just got to run a script to add this capability in. Is that it uses ABX to do the action. So you can see that's running right now. Right now, one of the things, and there's obviously creates these for you, but one of the things that is limiting in ABX is that if you have your Aria hooked up to multiple cloud providers, by default it's actually set on auto select. So when I was deploying it, it was actually running in Azure or AWS in Lambda, and it couldn't access obviously my DSM from there. So, you know, I had to come in here and make that change to actually force it to on-prem. Also, it's got a maximum timeout of 900 seconds, which is 15 minutes. So if you've got a real, you know, if you've got a home lab and, you know, it's pretty over-consumed and over-allocated like mine is, while it works, it still could take more than 15 minutes to deploy and configure and set up the database, especially if it's clustered. Right now, one of the reasons I chose medium before is because as a small, I wasn't meeting the time constraints and it actually will fail, right? And then when it fails, there's no nice way to clean it up, which is a little bit annoying, but it is what it is at the moment. So yeah, so they're the couple of changes I had to make. I also made some changes to the actual script itself, just to force that if it does fail, look, just say that it's successful, then I can clean it up later, right? So yeah, it's you know, 1.0, I'm happy with it because it's taking that initiative of actually starting that integration that out of the box and bringing that value to the customer without having to spend $1 gazillion on services or FTEs to create this capability, right? So anyway, that is what it is today, and the day 2 operations are the same. So that'll actually see, we'll see in here deployments. There it is going there, and we can see that it's currently creation is in progress there, right? So it'll sit there waiting. Essentially, it's just looping, waiting for that to say ready, and then it moves on and goes to the rest of the things. So that's all there. That's all doing. We can see there's powering on the machine. No, that's the video one. So these are just, as I said, just machines in vCenter without it being configured for you. But yeah, so anyway, look, that's a very quick overview of the Data Services Manager as it is today. I'm really looking forward to the next release of this. It's just going to get better and better, and it's exponentially getting better and better. From version 2 to 2.02, it's night and day difference. So, you know, very, very happy with that. And yeah, so obviously very simple to install, comes available with VCF. So fully licensed under VCF, and away you go. You can start creating databases as a service. Now, all the instructions, the actual documentation and manual are really, really good. And when you want to configure, you've got to configure for the Kubernetes integration, is you stand up and configure an operator for that, and then the operator works on behalf, so you're hitting that up. It's very simple. It's all in the documentation. I haven't done that yet personally. I've been doing it through Aria, and again, however you want to consume Aria catalogs or Aria blueprints, because at the day, actually, I will just quickly show that, is that it is an Aria blueprint. So if we look at the templates here, we'll actually see DSM DBaaS. And within that, you'll see here it is. So it actually creates this for you. You don't have to do anything. Works out of the box, all the integrations, and you'll actually see it as a custom resource under here. There it is there. And you can see that it's using the CRUD operations for its update, destroy, and everything else. And then it's got the day 2 actions, which is to get the string, right? All works very, very well. Anyway, hope you enjoyed. Next video will probably be on the CCI, Cloud Consumption Interface. So until then, take care. See you, bye.